Good morning and welcome to Kirk in the Morning, being the very first episode of Kirk in the Morning this year, 2023. It is the 9th of January. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Aida Muzatsi and we have so much lined up for you. Remember, when it's Monday, we are definitely discussing matters health. And big January, we're just going to discuss a number of issues to do with a healthy lifestyle, that is in terms of nutrition. But first, let us start with the news updates. The newspaper update, sorry. Well, just to let you know that we're also coming to you live, that's on Facebook as well as YouTube as Kirk TV Kenya. You can follow this particular show right there. So we start with the Daily Nation. And the top story right there is on issues to do with the president, that is President Ruto's cabinet. And they are talking of Ruto's power play. Just talking about the concluded 4-day retreat that is in Nanyuki. So President concluded 3-day meeting with senior members of the executive in a take-off mode, and they're just talking of the three key members of that particular cabinet. We are looking at Rigathi Gachagua, that is the deputy president. We are also looking at Musalia Mudavadi as well as Justin Muturi, and some of their roles are just outlined there. We are looking at Rigathi Gachagua, who will oversee the working relationship between the national and county government through Council of Governors. The role that has been given to Musalia Mudavadi from that 3-day retreat is to oversee the working relationship between Parliament and the Executive. And for Justin Muturi, that is a work to improve relationship between national government and judiciary. So that's a story that you can read in depth on page 7 of the Daily Nation. And just looking at the second page of the Daily Nation, they are focusing on matters to do with education, and the ministry starts assessing primary schools' capacity to host a junior high. So that is on issues to do with definitely CBC, that is class 6 pupils just transition to junior high. And we are looking at numbers right here. So the Daily Nation is alighting to numbers, that is 45 minimum enrollment for junior secondary school for an institution to be registered by the Ministry of Education. We also have another key number right here, that is 1.2 million, a number of learners who are set to join junior secondary later on this month. Remember, the schools will be open, that is from the 23rd of this month throughout that particular week. So you can get that story on page 2 of the Daily Nation. Looking at page 3, we have a state house of contrast, the transition from Uhuru to Ruto. So they're just trying to highlight probably what are some of the changes that have happened in the State House right here. You can get that story on page 3 of the Daily Nation. And now to the opposition side of the government, we have that story on page 4 of the Daily Nation. And that is Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga is talking about involving all Kenyans in the government's plan to amend laws. That is the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya leader Raila Odinga just telling President William Ruto. And that's a story that you can read in-depthly on page 4 of the Daily Nation. And definitely there are quite a number of stories that have been highlighted right there. Remember, we just talked over the 3-day retreat that is in Nanyuki, including all stakeholders and cabinets in the Kenya Kwanza government. That's a story definitely on page 7 of the Daily Nation. Now let's switch gears to pay, that is to the Standard newspaper right now, and they are giving a priority, that is to the Azimio la Umoja side, or rather that is the opposition side. And Raila stars Azimio with Uhuru claims way forward, that is opposition leader Raila Odinga insists former President Uhuru Kenyatta has not left coalition, but the latter has remained silent, throwing Alice in a spin. So the question right there that the Standard newspaper is asking is, has Kenyatta tactically dumped Odinga? So definitely you can always be part of this particular discussion by just sending in your comments or opinions via our SMS number. That is 0112244, or that is on our Facebook and YouTube pages at Kirk TV Kenya. So that story to do with the opposition side of the government, you can always get it on the Standard newspaper right there. So just going to the second page of the Standard newspaper, they are looking at graduates should stop choosing white-collar jobs and embrace all types of work. So that's a story on the Standard newspaper, and they're just highlighting a story of a crippled man who just turned from being a beggar to a trader that is in the CBD. So you can get that story. It's definitely a motivational one. Being a Monday, you can definitely read it for yourself and just see probably how you can switch from white-collar jobs to probably just being your own boss. And now to this fourth page, that's the story now, and an in-depth story of Raila, that is versus Uhuru. And the question that we are looking at this morning is, has the former president Uhuru Kenyatta tactically dumped Odinga? So that's a story on page 4 of the Standard newspaper. You can read it in-depthly right there. And now on page 6 of the Standard newspaper, that's where they are highlighting the 3-day retreat. That is for the Kenya Kwanza cabinet member that are in, they were just looking at a number of issues. They looked at the budget, they looked at the economy, among other issues. And you can read for yourself that story on page 6 of the Standard newspaper. And definitely you can continue just reading a number of stories on issues to do with business, sports, among other issues. And definitely we'll leave it at that on the newspaper review. Well, thank you so much for staying tuned to Kirk in the morning. Remember, as I promised earlier on, we'll definitely be looking at issues to do with just a healthy lifestyle, and we are focusing on nutrition. Remember, we are just from the holidays, and a number of us ate all types of food. So we are just trying to see how exactly can we improve our health and well-being in 2023. And just let us know, is probably fitness or healthy lifestyle part of your New Year's resolution? And I'll just be having a one-on-one with a clinical nutritionist, that is Japheth Winston. We'll just be discussing issues to do with nutrition, of what exactly you can do just to improve your health and well-being. That's a conversation that we'll be having in a few, but right now let's take a very short break. We'll be back with the discussion on nutrition.
Cervical cancer is real.
In Kenya, cervical cancer is the second most common cancer among females, with 9 women dying every day from cervical cancer.
The problem comes in with the 5%. Where the human papillomavirus, that particular virus which causes cervical cancer, where it now persists in their system.
Now, cervical cancer mostly affects women between 35 to 49 years. Screening is recommended for all women aged 25 to 49 years and vaccination for all girls aged 9 to 14.
Bleeding is one of the main ones, but there's also discharge. Basically abnormal discharge, from the private parts. Often it is watery, often it is smelly.
Cervical cancer remains a major public health concern in Kenya and worldwide. For this reason, January provides an opportunity to highlight and raise awareness about cervical cancer. So join me, Ida Munzati, every Monday from 8 p.m. throughout this month of January as we focus on cervical cancer, informing you, raising awareness about cervical cancer screening and the HPV vaccine for prevention of cervical cancer.
PCA Booth Girls High School of Excellence is an exemplary girls' boarding school located in a calm environment perfect for learning in Ongata Rongai, Kajiado County. Our sole responsibility is to equip our students to competitively fit into the ever-growing world-class institutions and the job market. An all-rounded student is what pushes us to burn the midnight oil.
It is school of excellence in teaching and performance, but it should also be school of performance in all areas of construction, areas of repair, areas of stewardship. It should be a school of excellence, because we are taking that it is a school of excellence just for as far as performance is concerned. No, it should be a school of excellence in all aspects.
Seeing the uptake within which, the speed within which the community have embraced the school, there is no doubt that the demand will outstrip supply in the next few years to come.
Apart from academics, we have some co-curricular activities like we have handball, we have volleyball, we have the table tennis, and even we have the swimming pool whereby our girls are nurtured on how to swim. Indeed, PCA Ongata Booth Girls High School is a place to be so that we can nurture the talent of your daughter.
We have spacious classrooms, well-equipped library, science and computer laboratories, dining hall, modern kitchen and dormitories. The fees is affordable.
I also study as a parent to PCA Booth Girls High School. And when I was sharing with the director of education, she told me there is a school less than 200 meters from your office. And I came, and I was convinced, and I brought her here. So I'm proud to be part of this community. I'm happy that indeed I can see a good school.
Bring your daughter to us so that we mold her in character, in the ways of God, and also we mold her in academics.
For more information, call the number 011-311-4284. You can also send an email to PCA Ongata Booth Girls High School at gmail.com.
Finances, or let's say money, is one of the major reasons of a shake-up in our families today. Now, whether little or in plenty, management of its use is an aspect that makes a huge difference, and that is why we're beginning the year by talking about matters money. So tune in to Transforming Families every Saturday from 8 to 9 p.m. as we talk about money throughout the month of January. See you then. PCEA Enomatesiani Booth Boys High School is an ideal school for boys located in a quiet and serene environment, ideal for learning in Matasia, Kajiado County. The school works towards producing qualified students who become competent professionals in the society.
We offer a wide variety of subjects in our school. Our school is well equipped. We have a state-of-the-art library, a spacious boarding section, a modern kitchen, also Olympic-sized swimming pool where our students go and have their swimming lessons.
The school focuses its effort not only in classroom learning, but we also provide learners with equal opportunities, that is to hone their abilities and talents. We have games like football, chess, volleyball, among others. The climate here is also favorable for all students.
PCEA Enomatasiani Booth Boys High School is open for January 2023 intake in Forms 1, 2 and 3.
Our school is founded on Christian value. We appeal for you to register, and we know we'll be able to mentor your boys through our Christian setup.
We are going to mold our boys in Christian values, and we are committed to do so at this time when the boy child must be taken care of.
For more information, get in touch via 0796 560000, 0796 560000. Email us pcea@gmail.com.
Here, we prepare food that is good for your body. And even better for your soul. What is the resource that God has given you?
Is it time? Is it family?
Yeah.
What have I done with that resource?
Well, welcome back to Kirk in the Morning. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Kirk in the Morning. And as I mentioned earlier on this morning, we will be looking at our nutrition, just focusing on probably what exactly can you do just to ensure that your 2023 is healthy. Remember, our New Year's resolution doesn't necessarily just have to do with your dreams and what you want to accomplish, but you can definitely just try and switch that a little bit to having probably a good health as your New Year's resolution. And in studio, I'm being joined by a clinical nutritionist, that is Japheth Winston, and with the help of him, you're just going to understand generally about nutrition, about diet, about what exactly you can do just to improve your health and well-being. Remember, nowadays, or even according to the World Health Organization, many of the conditions and diseases that people are acquiring are actually lifestyle diseases, and these have to do with what exactly you're putting on your plate and later on ingesting. So we'll be looking at that exactly, what diet can you just embrace this particular year and moving forth. So Winston, karibu sana.
Thank you, Aida.
You're well?
I'm good.
It's nice to see you again this year.
Nice to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's a pleasure seeing you this year.
All right.
Thank you
and
for having
we
me.
definitely look forward to learning from you, just understanding on issues to do with nutrition, dieting, among other things.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right.
Thank you.
So I'm sure for those that are at home, when we are talking about nutrition, we are looking at, let me say, just diet. But from an expert's point of view, what exactly is, when we are looking at nutrition, what's nutrition first?
Aida, nutrition, many of us, when you talk nutrition, they think of big things, huge things.
Yeah.
But it's as basic as what you have on your plate on that table. As simple as what you have in your kitchen. And I think I would like to start by saying that what you eat in private will show in the public.
Definitely.
if you do a lot of junk up, some corner somewhere, in some cafeteria somewhere, nobody knows, but in private, it will just show up.
Utaionea kwa utamu.
True, you know, that is what people say. Utaionea kwa utamu. Yeah, you binge drink, you know, it's been a party season. You just come from the festivities and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You do binge drinking and all that kind of thing, the nyama choma stuff, you know. It will begin showing up with the tummy and the weight gain and all that kind of things. But nutrition, simply put, is the healthy food choices that you make, the simple choices that you make when you go to the grocery store, when you go to the supermarket, when you go to the restaurant, when you're in the kitchen. Those simple food choices that you make, because those food choices ultimately they influence who you are. According to WHO, when they define health, they define health as a state of well-being. You know, not just about not being sick. You know, people assume being healthy is not being sick. But WHO, you know, defines it just a state of wellness. You're emotionally okay, you're physically okay, you're all round. In a social being, you are all round. So nutrition entails that part of well-being. Because sometimes you may be having food, but not having the right food. That is why we call it malnutrition. Because sometimes it is not there because of lack. Like, unfortunately, in some of our areas in Kenya, we had previously, a few months ago, we had drought.
The drought.
All across the country. So there are those natural causes where you are having nutrition issues because of lack. But sometimes it's because of poor choices, where you have food, but not the right types of food. But today we are having a discussion on the same. So I guess we can set the year on the right footing. So we get the cruising altitude with the right choices for the year.
And now when you're talking of simple food, and probably just your opinion on this, because I don't understand whether it's a perspective that is for Kenya. So just for human beings, when we are looking at nutrition, many, once you tell them eat right, eat healthy, they take it as a punishment, I'll say. So how do we change that particular mindset for many people?
Ida, what you're saying is very true. Many people assume healthy eating, nutritious food, and those things as for the affluent people. And people who have the way around through town, and the people who have, you know, economic strength. But it ain't true. It is very simple to eat healthy. It is very simple to keep a healthy diet. If at all anything, eating healthy is the easiest thing. It's as easy as the Kenyan ugali, mayai, and skuma. It's that simple. What we were taught in kindergarten, in primary school. The ABCD of eating, the carbs, the carbohydrates, the proteins, the vitamins, and you know, all those water and all those kind of things. So as simple as sitting down and ensuring that your plate has the three main food groups that we have. Like if you're having a plate of you're sitting down for dinner, do you know the main food groups that we have? The proteins, the carbohydrates, and the vitamins. As you sit down, it boils down to that simple concept. But as I sit down, is this a balanced diet? What people call balanced diet. But nowadays we talk about variety. And at some point in time we'll talk about the variety. Because sometimes it can be a balanced diet, but I eat the same food Monday to Monday. You see, like Kenyans, ugali, mayai, skuma is a thing. So we're shifting away from the balanced diet, but to a diet of variety. But for the basic concept for our viewers right now, talk about the balance, because that is what many of us are accustomed to and are used to. So as you sit down to eat, it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be extravagant. You don't have to eat an apple to keep the doctor away. It's true, the doctor will be away, but even a banana can keep that doctor away. An avocado, which is a simple fruit on the street, will still keep the same Dr. So-and-so away, you see? So you don't have to be extravagant to go to big supermarkets, big food stores to get the, you know, the GMO stuff and the organic discussion going around. You don't have to go that long route, no. Just go to your normal fruit vendor, whatever fruit. It's as simple as that.
making it as basic as possible. And I also have to mention that, we are starting the year with resolutions and goals.
True.
And people are writing and writing and putting notebooks and diaries and, iPads and whatever. But it doesn't have to be a militarian experience for you to eat healthy. You don't have to put a gun on your head that this year.
Even when you're eating the vegetables, it's like you're eating.
You feel like you're taking pills,
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to make it to look like you are in the Soviet Union or wherever, or your nuclear bombs and everything. No. It should be a fun activity. Actually, food and eating is a social activity. Like for example, in our African setups, when you welcome a visitor, the first thing you give them is food. It's a social thing. So similarly, your nutrition choices and your food choices should be social. They make you feel comfortable. And then it helps you to work towards your goal. So if your goal is losing weight, and what is driving you to lose that weight is that military precision. You won't make it. 2-3 weeks into January, you'll start like, oh my, next year. Let's try next year. It's not working. You run to the gym January 1. Today is January 9. You're like, no boy, this is not working. So it should not be intimidating. It should not be like a punishment, but it should be, something that you are eager to do. So it's the simple meals that you do, just work your way around it, and then it becomes something you can sustain. It should be sustainable.
All right. And you've talked of a balanced diet, and you've just mentioned of ugali, mayai, or the carbohydrates, the proteins. You've brought in the, let me say, the food groups. But when we are talking of the eggs, let me say the ugali, when we are talking of the vegetables, how exactly is my plate supposed to look like? How exactly, what amount of the carbohydrates am I supposed to be having? What amount of the proteins and the vegetables am I supposed to be having? Because I just giving probably an example of there's a plate, I'll say that probably those that have diabetes usually use. We have it's in portions. We have the big portion, we have the small, and in many cases probably I'll be like, for this particular bigger portion, let me do carbohydrates. Many people probably do not understand how I should do the portions. Maybe you can just help us when we are looking at a balanced diet. How is my plate supposed to look like in terms of portions?
Thank you for that question. I don't know the campus you went to, but some of the campuses the mess. Place, exactly, that's what I wanted to say. If you went to the alma mater, Kenyatta University, at the mess, you'll find those funny plates. And many of us will wonder, what the hell is happening here? They'll have those through the three subdivisions on the plate. It was deliberate. It was not a mistake.
Or just to hold the soup.
To hold the soup. Some of us will think it's for holding soup. That should be like our standard way of subdividing the plate. You don't have to go draw with your plate to the marker pen straight. But I'm just trying to bring the visualization, because somebody must have passed through maybe a campus or somewhere and saw such a plate. It's divided into 3 portions. So most of the time you find one of the portions is half the plate. It's half on the other side. Then the other half is divided into 2. The reason we do that is because that should be the standard portion servings. The other half of the plate, the big half of the plate, that big one, should be for vegetables. But most of the time, what do we do? Carbs. We put a lot of rice there. I even think in my campus we used to do that. The people who are serving will put for you rice on that side, and then they put ugali on that side, or chapatis, or those kind of things. But in the real case, it should be the inverse. So that big side of the plate, you do your greens, your vegetables, and all those kind of things. And then the other 2 subdivided side is for the proteins and for the carbs. Why do we do that? Number 1, carbs are a big suspect for weight gain. Many people say, sikulangi. Natoa utambi wapi. To bellies for our ladies, you get belly fat. Then they're like, sikulangi sana. They're like, what's happening? It's because carbs have hidden fats. Carbs are high in sugars. The body does not store sugars. When you have a lot of sugars, the body converts it into fat. So with time, the more carbs you take, more sugars, The body doesn't take sugar. Insulin does its work, converts that stored into fat. You get adipose fat under subcutaneous layers. So most prime suspects areas are the tummy, belly fat area, and those kind of things. So you start growing fat unknowingly. And then over time, you become big. Then you're like, Mimi, you know, those kind of excuses that people give. So that is why we tell people, do less on the carbs. So that you don't have a lot of sugar intake. And of course, you also know the issues with sugar. The diabetes and, you know, blood pressure and those kind of things. So because carbs are high on those many lifestyle conditions, you don't want to start living at 20 or 30, you're doing insulin, you're injecting yourself day and night, you know. But anyway, if somebody is already using insulin, it's not a prison sentence. You can still, you know, live healthy
even with the insulin.
True. I think I have to mention so that you don't feel like it's a prison sentence. You can still make your way through with a healthy lifestyle and healthy choices and still live your way through. So once you do less carbs, then you can compensate that with the vegetables. Good thing with the vegetables, most of the time vegetables have a lot of fiber. The fiber compensates for that which you feel you should have done with the ugali. Fiber, number one, will take off your appetite very fast. The simplest analogy I like giving people is how much skuma can you take? A little of it, and then you feel like, no way, I'm okay. Why? Because the fiber in it cuts out the satiety, so that you feel full. It takes away the hunger cues. You know, the way you imagine, I'm still hungry, I want another quarter of nyama, another half kg of nyama choma. With proteins, you won't feel full. You're like, I want another breast of chicken. I want another thigh of chicken. I want another smoky. I want another sausage. No, more samosas, please, you know. But when you do fibrous foods, they work on the satiety very fast so that it takes away the hunger cues. So you eat less, but you still feel full. So you end up eating less food, but still have the fullness in you, so that you don't take a lot of food. So that is the simplest form to describe your normal portion servings for your foods. Just that normal, visualize that plate, divide into 3. Half of the plate is for fruits and vegetables. The other half should be divided for your proteins and your carbs. The other illustration we use to give people for portion servings, we can use your normal hands. So a palm for your proteins, another palm size for your carbohydrates, and huge for your hands. But I get problem with my friends from the other side of the country when I tell them they should take ugali this size. Those friends of mine are watching, they know I get into trouble when I tell them to take ugali this size. They're like, no way, are you serious? I'm like, very serious. You need ugali this size. Because that is enough for you. Not that is a sentence, but you can do small, frequent meals. The only problem we have, for example, in city life here, you don't have enough time for eating because people are busy, waking up, traffic, jam, office, go back home late. So people want to sit down once and eat supper, like, you know, it's going to...
because I did not take breakfast, I did not take lunch, now let me feast.
And that brings the other aspect of skipping meals. You know, skipping meals is another prime suspect for weight gain.
Oh, really?
Yes. So people skip meals to lose weight, but they ultimately end up adding weight. Why? Because the body has compensating mechanisms. Like, man, I didn't take a breakfast. I missed lunch. It's supper. Let it go down. So what do? You end up taking too much than you need. And then when you take too much than you need, it's 10 p.m. at night. You check a few of your emails, you check a few of your things at diary, then you sleep. You sleep with all the calories in the body. At night, the metabolism is very low. You're not doing anything. What does the body do? Converts the excess energy into fat. So you end up not achieving your intentions. So instead of skipping meals, you can take small but frequent meals. Or you do healthy snacks like carry a fruit to the office. You know, you can carry packed lunch. You can do a drink, you know, instead of skipping meals. Because the body registers in the mind that I need to pay for what I missed through the entire day. So instead of skipping meals, you can do healthy snacking.
All right. And now just talking of instead of skipping meals, carrying a fruit, I'm sure there's someone who is like, carry a fruit for lunch. Just an apple for lunch, I can't do that. Now for those with very high appetites, how can we probably just program their day in terms of what to eat? You can't, you can't deprive your body of eating, and you have quite a high appetite. When you've not eaten, you cannot function properly. So how exactly can we just help them in terms of just improving their health?
A good question indeed. Somebody has a high appetite. I'm here telling you need to reduce food.
Yeah.
But I also mentioned and said you can do small, frequent meals.
All right.
So because because good thing, most of the time we have hunger cues, we know situational awareness. You need to be aware of yourself. What time can I get to eat? When am I hungry?
Yeah.
When am I full? Because there are those people who eat to live, and then there are people who live to eat. You need to know the difference. Then there are people who eat to finish, and then there are people who eat to feel full.
Yeah.
It's different, but you need to know when it is enough. When is enough, and when do I need to stop? So when I know, I know about myself. I know that I need a power snack at 10. After 10, I'm in the office, but I'm not doing anything. Because you can be in the office, but you're not achieving anything. Why? Because you need something to keep you going. So once you are aware of yourself, you're aware of the things you need, you're aware about it. You know that at 7, I need something to power up my day. So you start your day knowing I need to take breakfast.
Yeah.
You know that as I go towards 10, I need to fuel something. You plan your day that way. You know that I can't go without lunch.
Yeah.
But there are some who can do without the lunch.
Yeah, true.
They can take a can of yogurt and they're okay. They can take a fruit and they're okay. It's not like a prescription for everyone. Like a pharmacist will tell you 1 times 3. It doesn't work that way.
For everyone.
Yeah, you need to be what I'm calling situational awareness. Yeah. I need to know my specific situation. That is why you go on these social media, you say people, they're calling it, slim fit diet, what tea, slimming tea, those many quacks that are out there. You cannot prescribe a human being to a particular thing that works for Ida.
Yeah,
you want to work for me.
I agree.
It doesn't work like that. It's not like a shoe. Like I say, it's a standard shoe. It will fit all people this size.
Yeah.
No. You need to be aware of yourself. Because probably I'm okay without lunch.
Yeah.
And my day still moves. But there's somebody who won't take lunch, they'll be cranky, they'll be drowsy, they'll be sleepy, they'll be clumsy, dropping things. So once you're aware about yourself, then it helps you to work around your meals and the things that you need. Every office nowadays has a microwave.
Yeah.
You can easily carry food from the house. That also helps us to minimize on food loss and food wastage.
Yeah.
We waste a lot of food. Why? Because you cook a lot of food, come to office, you go back in the evening, it's wasted. But you can cook, carry it for breakfast. Who say you can't take ugali and skuma for breakfast?
Yeah.
You ate supper yesterday, ugali and skuma. You carry that, come to office, microwave, really. Who cares? Nobody cares, really. No one really cares.
It's actually very economical.
It's economical. That's what I was saying. Eating healthy doesn't have to be expensive. Actually, it can be one of the most economical way for this year, as you do your budget.
Yeah.
You can even cook supper and do breakfast in the office. Carry it to the microwave. Instead of eating out, you carry your food, microwave, take your food.
Yeah.
If the office provides you with stuffed tea, take your tea in the afternoon, then you'll be good to go.
All right. And you've mentioned of greens, skuma wiki, quite a lot,
Yeah.
From a clinical nutritionist perspective, I've seen you at some point cook, that is on different shows. So how can we make that skuma wiki or just that vegetable tastier? Yeah. Because you won't force someone to eat meat. They'll be like, yes, bring. You won't force them. But for vegetables, no one will be. So how do we just sweeten it?
Thank you for mentioning about cooking. It's a hobby. Story for another day. But when you talk about food, there's something called presentation.
Yeah.
How you present your food. Check this with small kids. You find many mothers who are having small kids who are feeders. They have problems with their children feeding. Why? It's because of how we present food. I don't know where you grew up, Ida, but where some of us grew up, food for children was boiled food without salt, without fat, without nyanya and kitungu.
True.
It was boiled and then salt labda kumbali, and then you'll tell mama mi nataka chumvi, then they'll do like this, their fingers,
there's nothing,
then there's nothing, then they tell you nimeweka. So presentation of food is very important, because we are human beings, and we interact with the 5 senses: sight, taste, smell, and hearing. So the way you look at the food is how you perceive it. So most of the time, the mistake many of us do is we don't make food look presentable. So people will like, he's just green there. They're like, hey, mboga, no way. Really. So they keep it down there. I think just on that, I have to mention that even for small children, little children, their food doesn't have to be boring. You have to make it something that they look forward to. You find people are eating on the table. There are nice foods, platters and everything, fork and everything. But the small little baby has ngwashu, nduma and malenge in one plate. It's not fried, it's not salted, it's nothing. It's just blunt food. Then meal times become more, I don't know how your family was, but it used to be fights in most families with these young ones. Why? Because of how the food is presented. It's not well presented. So for vegetables, for example, you can be creative with your vegetables. You can do a vegetable salad. You can do your, cabbage nicely. It's January, and they keep saying cabbage is watching you.
In December,
It's in December. January. But you can imagine, you can present the cabbage so nicely. And you even wow visitors in January with cabbage. Why? You take your vegetables, you grate their carrots, you put there. You can put. Did you know you can put pineapples in cabbage, and it comes a nice, meal. And then you add there maybe like olive oil, or you garnish with some nice vegetables like bell peppers, red bell peppers, yellow bell peppers. They are sweetened vegetables. So this thing turns from the ordinary cabbage in January to a nice appetizing one. Even the sight of it. You put those colors there, the carrots, the yellow peppers, the red peppers, there's this the purple one. You put inside, that thing looks appetizing. Nobody even notice what's happening. They'll be like, wow, when do I come back? So you play around with food. You play around with this vegetable so that it doesn't just look like the normal, vegetable that you do. Look at what our forefathers used to do. They would, what we call them, the ferment the vegetables, the kienyeji vegetables. So that it looks something so awesome, something so wow. You can do peanut butter in your vegetables. Try that at home. You can DM me for the menu.
Any type of vegetable?
You can. Why not?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because once you add those two additives in food, it increases what we call the calorie density of the food. Calorie density is you increase the energy value of the food. Like when you put, like our forefathers used to do milk. Have you taken vegetables with milk? You tried?
Yeah.
How was it? Food for thought. But you see, once you do that, food doesn't become boring. You see, it doesn't become the normal, you can't wait to get.
Like you're taking herbs.
Like you're taking herbs, like the children of Israel waiting for Passover. It doesn't have to be the Passover journey. It can be something people look forward to. People look the way you go to a wedding and you go there, they are really, that vegetable and fruit section, the way they're, chopped nicely, they're diced, they're cubes, nicely presented, and then you look forward to. You can even take nyanya na vitungu and put pilipili hoho, the green one, pilipili hoho, chopped nicely, my friend.
Yeah, it's sweet.
I said call me for the menu.
It's like fried chicken, okay?
Actually, it looks like fried chicken. Why? Because of how you present it. Appearance versus reality. How you perceive things in life is how they are. If I perceive this vegetable to look appetizing, it definitely will. But if I look at greens and I see the Passover lamb, it definitely will look like that. Yeah, so even for parents, as you present food to your children, to the family, make it look something. Be creative in the kitchen. You can add milk the way I said. You can do butter. Find ways around your meals so that they don't look like boring is the word. Once it's boring, people tend to jack off and like, no way.
All right, then they opt for
the
healthy one. All right, now just before we go for a very short break in the next few minutes, let us look at now the of course, you've mentioned of the cucumbers, I don't know, adding olive oil and all that. And I'll say these are things that are just a common person or a common mwananchi, a common Ida outside there wouldn't necessarily know. Probably these are just things they see in the markets. They don't know how to mix. You might probably end up mixing this and this, and it will taste sour. What is the importance of a nutritionist in your life, or probably just consulting a nutritionist just to enable them, guide you through probably just your dieting?
Thank you, Aida. I'm still trying to convince my parents what I did in school. I'm at that point. I need to convince my parents I'm a nutritionist. And this is my job. Nafunza watu kukula. You know, they still think I'm doing home science and you know, those kind of things. So that is the issue we still have in our this side of the world. People are still not like really accepted, like there's somebody who can work your way around your meals and help you achieve your goals. For example, you can be, the example we use, somebody living with insulin. You know, when you go out there, people will tell you like there's a diet for diabetics. There's no such thing.
Very true.
People tell you are diabetic, eat this. Don't eat this. Actually, they tell you don't. Most of the time is don't. You have ulcers. What do people start telling you? Don't. You have whatever condition. The next thing they'll tell you is don't. Why? Because they had somebody saying don't. But I want to tell you that there's no specific diet for anything. All these foods are okay for you. What you need is medical guidance and expert opinion, how you can move your way around different types of food to manage your condition. What we call medical nutrition therapy, MNT. So once you have the professional to help you that way, you can manage your way through food to achieve your goals. So even if you're having a lifestyle condition, you're having a terminal illness, you're having, like even the small children that I was talking about who are fussy about eating, the fussy eaters, you can have a professional who works your way around your normal diet in the house. And I say the simplest is change presentation. Just change the presentation of the food. The same children will be eating that food. That is why most of the time you're eating and children are pulling your plate. They have their plate, but they are pulling yours.
Very true.
Why? Because yours looks more appealing.
And it looks sweeter.
And it looks sweeter, you see? So that is why you need an expert in that field. That's why we have people called nutritionists or pishi. That's your home science. If you see my parents, tell them, please, I'm not doing catering. It's a profession that we use food for therapy. And I have to mention that if you make food your medicine, food will be your medicine. You won't need to visit a pharmacist or whatever, because food will be your medicine. Food fuels everything within you. You're either fighting a disease with food or feeding a disease with food. Because, for example, some of these lifestyle conditions like cancers, it's food that fuels them. It is food that, you know, makes cancer grow over time. It's the type of food that you use. So working with experts, for example, that way you'll be able to know, am I fueling disease or fighting disease? So that way you are able to manage even yourself. If you are sick, having a sick relative, having a sick friend. Ida, I'm sure you've joined these WhatsApp groups of somebody going to India for ward surgery, somebody going where for chemotherapy. It's so common, these lifestyle conditions. But some of these things are manageable using food therapy and expert opinion and guidance. So it's not much out there for us in this other side of the world, but we are trying to have advocacy, and of course with partnership with people like you in the media, we're able to bring the right information to the viewers so that they know that there is help out there. You don't have to boggle down yourself. Your house looks like a pharmacy or a drugstore, because you have this drug for what, you have this drug for what. But sometimes it's your kitchen that can do the magic for you. For the entire family. Sometimes the kitchen does the magic for the entire family. Then you empty your drugs. You're all healthy and you're normal. So for nutrition, it's not just about weight and all those kind of things. It's about wellness of the entire family. Wellness of the entire being. When you learn nutrition, you don't just learn about how to eat, but you learn how to live. I think that will be my passion. You learn how to live, not just what to eat.
All right, thank you so much for that. I'm glad that you've brought in the perspective of food being the medicine. Yeah, and that's very great. Now we'll be taking a very short break. We'll definitely be coming back with more solutions to do with just living a healthy lifestyle in terms of your diet and nutrition. So if you have any question, feel free to reach us. That is via our Facebook and YouTube pages. That is Kirk TV Kenya. So we'll take a very short break. We'll be right back with more.
Cervical cancer is real.
In Kenya, cervical cancer is the second most common cancer among females, with 9 women dying every day from cervical cancer.
The problem comes in with the 5%, where the human papillomavirus, that particular virus which causes cervical cancer, where it now persists in their system.
Now, cervical cancer mostly affects women between 35 to 49 years. Screening is recommended for all women aged 25 to 49 years and vaccination for all girls aged 9 to 14.
Bleeding is one of the main ones, but there's also discharge, basically abnormal discharge from the private parts. Often it is watery, often it is smelly.
Cervical cancer remains a major public health concern in Kenya and worldwide. For this reason, January provides an opportunity to highlight and raise awareness about cervical cancer. So join me, Ida Munzati, every Monday from 8 p.m. throughout this month of January as we focus on cervical cancer, informing you, raising awareness about cervical cancer screening and the HPV vaccine for prevention of cervical cancer.
PCA Booth Girls High School of Excellence is an exemplary girls boarding school located in a calm environment perfect for learning in Ongata Rongai, Kajiado County. Our sole responsibility is to equip our students to competitively fit into the ever-growing world-class institutions and the job market. An all-rounded student is what pushes us to burn the midnight oil.
It is school of excellence in teaching and performance, but it should also be school of performance in all areas of construction, areas of repair, areas of stewardship. It should be a school of excellence, because we are taking that it is a school of excellence just for as far as performance is concerned. No, it should be a school of excellence in all aspects.
Seeing the uptake within which, the speed within which the community have embraced the school, there is no doubt that the demand will outstrip supply in the next few years to come.
Apart from academics, we have some co-curricular activities like we have handball, we have volleyball, we have the table tennis, and even we have the swimming pool whereby our girls are nurtured on how to swim. Indeed, PCA Ongata Booth Girls High School is a place to be so that we can nurture the talent of your daughter.
We have spacious classrooms, well-equipped library, science and computer laboratories, dining hall, modern kitchen and dormitories. The fees is affordable.
I also study as a parent to PCA Booth Girls High School. And when I was sharing with the director of education, she told me there is a school less than 200 meters from your office. And I came, and I was convinced, and I brought her here. So I'm proud to be part of this community. I'm happy that indeed I can see a good school.
Bring your daughter to us so that we mold her in character in the ways of God, and also we mold her in academics.
For more information, call the number 011-311-4284. You can also send an email to pcaongatabothgirlshighschool@gmail.com.
Well, welcome back. We are still right here, the Kirk in the Morning Show, and this morning we are looking at just healthy lifestyle. We've looked at dieting, we've looked at nutrition, as well as just the importance of consulting a nutritionist that is for your healthy journey. And right now we'll just get to see over just some of the shortcuts that probably you and I are using in order to maybe lie to ourselves that we are healthy. And in studio, I'm still with Japheth Wilson, who is a clinical nutritionist. And now, Japheth, probably we were just looking at whether the importance of now consulting a nutritionist. Will you say Kenyans are embracing, do come to people like you for consultation, or is still a ish affair?
I think we are slowly going there. But we're not yet there.
Yeah.
But we are making steps towards the right direction. Passionately, one thing I am about is especially the little children, 0 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Good thing with the government, it's almost compulsory for mothers to come to the clinic from 0 to 5 years. But after 2 years, they disappear. But we insist on 0 to 2 years because that is what we call the window of opportunity.
Yeah.
Mistakes done between 0 to 2 years of life are not easily reversible.
Yeah, true.
But good thing we're able to get the children at 0 to 2 years. So you go to any hospital, you have a right to see a nutritionist as a mother. It's entitled, it's your right with the government healthcare system. So make sure every time you visit a health facility, especially for a mother with a small child, you need to see the nutritionist. They help you to guide you how to feed correctly the small baby. If you miss the window of opportunity, then this child will grow up in life with many problems. But if you start on the right footing, see your nutritionist every time you go to the hospital with this small child, then you'll be able to get the right choices. Also, as an adult, it's your right. There are nutrition officers in almost every government hospital. Many times, as nutritionists, sorry to say, we just sit in the office there waiting for God knows who. Yeah, for children. Because adults, really? Why? It's you don't have to be sick to see a nutritionist. You can just walk into our clinics in the various government hospitals, even private hospitals, or their nutrition clinics. You can go to a nutrition clinic, wherever, and then you walk, get the consultation for weight. You can consult for blood, how to manage your blood pressure, how to manage your blood sugar, how to manage lifestyle diseases, how to manage just yourself. You're having you want meal plans for your family. There are many things that you can get from a nutrition clinic. You don't have to go to a private facility or whatever. In our government hospitals, I think every county has at least a nutritionist in every single county. I think right now, we are not yet there, but I think the government is making effort. So it's your right. These people are paid to serve you. So walk into these offices, ask as many questions as you have. Waswahili husema kuuliza si ujinga. So just go there, ask. Just what is nutrition? What can I learn? I will be glad to assist you. So just go there, get to know. It's better to be knowledgeable. So people are not yet embracing that, but we are advocating for more, that people can step out, get the right information, get the right knowledge to live healthier. So we are available. People can reach us for whatever means of consultation. I'll be glad to assist them. But we are not yet there.
But I think with the let me say, just the percentage of non-communicable diseases rising, I believe that's not the very best example to use, but with the rise of non-communicable diseases, I feel like people are now embracing nutrition more. People are now more aware, and also just giving COVID-19 as an example, how it taught people to be more health aware, even with what exactly they are just putting in. And now to do with just, you talked of let me say quirks, you talked of the merits and demerits of let me say feasting or fasting, then feasting. Now let's just look at detoxing. Would you recommend that as an expert?
Thank you, Ida. I mentioned earlier that you go out to social media, you'll see things. You'll see diets, you'll see tea, you see pills, you see every kind of thing. Number one, there's no magic around the human body. So there's nobody who can go to a lab and say, this is the magic tea for you to drink 3 times a day and then you'll be slim. It doesn't work like that. There's no magic food to conscribe people who are having, for example, diabetes. I said, these are for you diabetics. Sit at that corner and eat this. There's no magic pill, there's no magic drink, no magic thing around your whatever condition. The human body is diverse. We are created, and the Bible says, for believers, says we are wonderfully and fearfully made. All of us in a unique way, and the body functions differently and optimally. I may look lean the way I look, but my BMI is very okay. Somebody may look huge, but they are tall, so their BMI is okay for their weight, you see. So you can't just look with your eyes and say, hey, Aida, where unaka unaenda kuenda, because somebody in your eyes looks lean, It doesn't work like that. There's the derivatives, what we use, the medical standards that we use to classify people. Give them the right nutrition advice, give them the right therapy. Their medical supplements. If somebody needs a supplement, there are medical supplements that you can use that are tailored, they are tailor-made, and they are designed medically to assist in particular cases. Like if I have somebody going for surgery, they are right there, the correct supplements that I'll give somebody going for pre-operative surgery. You're not going for that, you are preparing for a surgery. There is a supplement to prepare you for surgery. There are correct supplements to prepare you after surgery. There are supplements that I give you when you're not able to eat orally. There are people who cannot take food, they cannot ingest food. But we have the right, they're called the enteral and parenteral nutrition. That's where we need the professionals. So when we get into the field of supplements, it's not a Mudurwa market thing, where somebody opens a shop and stocks everything. No, it is a medical intervention. And these are things that are regulated by Food and Drug authorities. We have our Poisons Board in Kenya, for example. They are regulated. So somebody cannot just go on social media. They are not trained. Somebody is calling himself Dr. Wairagu, Dr. Kiriagu, Dr. whatever. They don't have the right medical training. They've never seen the gates of a medical school. And they want to prescribe to you things because their mama told them that shrub treats this. Or whatever told them that leaves will do it. No, it doesn't work like that. And you see, for somebody to promise you, for example, they promise you out of the blues promises for their kind of supplements that they give you. Somebody tells you drink this slimming pills for 2 weeks, you lose weight. It doesn't work like that. Because once you lose weight within 2 weeks, then you look gory, you look scary.
Again, you have to do it gradually.
Gradually, yes. You don't just lose weight. You want to lose 80 kgs, how? Even your closet will refuse you. There's no cloth that will fit you there. So it's something that happens gradually, it's monitored, and we follow. Like your nutritionist will follow up on you, will monitor you, will evaluate you to see if you're going according to the plan. Because there is a standard weight loss that we give per month. Then I'll be comfortable as a nutritionist that you're on the right trajectory. But if I see you tomorrow, even your colleagues at work will be like, what's happening? Because you start growing, sulky eyes, you sulky face, you look sagging skin.
True.
Yes, because if you lose weight like that, you start having sagging skin. You look older than you are. because now you're having a sagging face like that. You don't want that. So you need to get the right expert opinion. You cannot, if you're sick, you go to the hospital. You don't go to Facebook.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's what many
that's what people do. Like, you see, when I want to lose weight, what do? I go to Facebook. It's free. So people think it's a shortcut. It's not a shortcut. It's your health, and health is very precious. And you cannot equate your life to social media. You go to TikTok, somebody's drinking some concoctions, and then you also want to drink that. And for Kenyans, it's even worse. There are things we call fads. Like the other day, somebody came up with quail eggs. And all of a sudden, quail eggs was a miracle for everybody. People are buying quail eggs all over. And then you're like, oh, this one treats so well. No, it doesn't work like that. Things that are working in the human body and need scientific research. And science proves itself. Something that you can prove scientifically and acknowledge and accept that this works. Not because of somebody's testimony. And the other thing you can use to identify quacks is because they don't give you science. They give you somebody's testimony. They tell you, Ida used this and it worked for Ida.
Yeah.
So most of the time you go to their social media pages, you see they post testimonials of other people. Not scientific research. But this is human life. We work with science, we work with... You mentioned COVID. You remember when we were having the research for the COVID vaccine? It took global pressure, global effort, companies coming together, a lot of energy, a lot of research.
They were using numbers,
statistics. We used to have people like the Dr. Anthony, the famous Dr. Anthony Fauci, coming on TV like almost on every other day, giving us updates, giving us brief. That's how serious the human body is. It's not a social media post. You go to TikTok and you scroll like this,
And I like it when you see now with the testimonials, like you put it, when I come and say probably this particular supplement, this particular detox method worked for me, as you put it, what worked for me might not work for you. You might end up like buying the supplements and for your information, they are very expensive.
Very expensive.
Yeah. So you might end up probably just taking the supplement and it doesn't work for you. And that's where now people start suing companies.
Then that way, you even end up risking your life. You end up risking your life and put yourself in danger. The energy you'll have used to feed yourself, you're now using energy to go to court, to sue a company which is not even legally registered. These are quacks. They are not professionals, you see, that way. But now we are telling people that in case you need supplements, they are there. For every single condition you can find. There are supplements for diabetics, there are supplements for hypertensive patients, there are supplements for people who want to lose weight, there are supplements for children who are who are stagnated growth, who are not adding weight. They are age-based, they are nutrient-based, they are supplements, they are, you just need proteins, for example. There are supplements that are even subdivided to the last amino acids. Proteins are made of amino acids. So sometimes you have a particular amino acid that's a problem. They are that much high. That's how science has evolved. And we need to embrace science in everything that we do. Don't just fall out for detoxifying drink, detoxifying water, detoxifying what?
Shortcuts. Unfortunately, no one wants to put
people
in the effort.
We are, I'm sorry to use this, we are a microwave generation. We want the tap results, the instant results. Like I do this, I get results tomorrow. But it doesn't work like that. You need to put in some effort, some work, some energy. So that is why you need to have the right people to walk with you, to guide you, and to guide you in the right thing to do. So why do you need that detoxifying whatever? This bottle of water is as good as that. Just take 8 glasses a day. It cleanses the entire body. Drink enough water. This one removes all the urea, the uric acid, the harmful chemicals in the body. It cleanses the body. If you went to high school a little and did a little biology, maybe you learned about homeostasis, and now the body knows how to self-regulate. The body is one of the most complex things that God ever created. There's nobody who has successfully managed to clone a body because it's in the intelligence of God. So it knows how to regulate itself if you give it the right things that it needs. Some of those things we put in ourselves are harmful chemicals. You want to detox with chemicals. That's the irony of life. They're trying to remove chemicals from their body using chemicals. But if you do as simple as a bottle of water, and we are told that you need at least like 2 liters a day. That's roughly 8 glasses of water. If you do 8 glasses of water, that's enough to cleanse the toxins, the harmful chemicals, And it's as simple as going to the washrooms and seeing your urine as yellow color. That's already a red flag.
Yeah.
Your urine should be almost close to clear water. Why? Because you're constantly cleansing the body. Constantly cleansing the body. Sometimes you go to pee and it smells. It should not have any foul smell. Why is it having a foul smell? Because you're having a lot of chemicals in the body. So you should get to a point where you're comfortable going to the washrooms, and as you pee, it doesn't have the foul smell, it doesn't have the odd colors, it doesn't have those kind of things that you are uncomfortable with. When you're already uncomfortable when you go the other side, it means you have a problem already. And it's as simple as just adding water to your diet. 8 glasses of water. It removes all those toxins. Sometimes you're a housewife, you are washing your husband's shirts, and the shirts are full smell. Why? Because of the sweat. Why is the sweat having full smell? It's because of the urea. When you have excess urea, it comes out through sweat, and then the shirt, you wash it, it has the yellow patches under the armpits. It should not be that in that case.
And it's actually detected with what you eat as well.
Yes, with what you eat, because the more proteins you take in, the more you produce urea and those uric acids and those kind of things. And the way you see it stained on your shirt, it stains the joints. That's why over time you see somebody say, "Oh, bagoti," those kind of cries. In the morning you can't walk because you feel pain in your joints. It's cold. You literally feel cold in the joints. So those kind of things you see under the shirt, under the armpit, that yellow stain, they also accumulate in the body over time. That is just a little percentage that comes out through sweat. Yeah, but if you don't remove it by taking adequate amount of water, then it deposits it, mostly under the joints. Sometimes it's on the fingers here. You feel later in life you call arthritis and those kind of things. You don't want to get in that space. It's as simple as taking water, 8 glasses a day. And you don't have to sit down with 8 glasses of water. Daktari alisema tukunywe glasses 8 ya maji. No, you spread out all the entire day. And that is the simplest way to detoxify. And the reason why we are struggling with detoxifying is because you are taking the wrong foods. You take the right foods, you won't even need to detoxify because you are having the vegetables which I mentioned. And I said vegetables have fiber. This fiber is enough to cleanse the entire system. As they work, fiber is the rope-like structures in food. The kamba in maembe, you eat maembe, and you find things staying in your teeth. Is that ropey structures within the system that will help you to cleanse you. You have a lot of things in your system, the fiber brings it out. You won't have issues with constipation. You won't have issues with diverticulosis in the system. You won't have such issues when you're having enough of the fruits and vegetables that we talked about.
All right, now just talking of the vegetables and all that, are we saying that we should not take meat completely? Let us just bring in probably the meat factor. What exactly are we saying about this meat?
That brings me to what we call the principles of meal planning. You remember earlier I mentioned that people talk about balanced diet. Nowadays we talk about variety. That's under the principles of meal planning. Under the principles of meal planning, we have 5 things. We have variety, we have adequacy, we have balance, we have nutrient density, and then we have what we call, I'm forgetting the 5th one, I'll tell you. Under variety, we talked about under the principles of meal planning. Variety, the white man says variety is the spice of life. You need to have a diet with variety, varied things. You try different options. It doesn't mean you eliminate. You just make your balance, your diet. Balance is the layman language, but it's having you try things here today. You can take beans today. You can take beef tomorrow. You can take fish the other day. You can take soya beans. You can even go to the shops nowadays. We have proteins as cheap as 30 shillings. The saucy soya, which many of us will easily ignore, but it's a very nutritious food. It's very affordable and on the market. These are some of these functional foods. We call them functional foods. The soya beans, those kind of things. So when you make your diet to have variety as opposed to balanced diet, a balanced diet will limit you to the example I gave of ugali, skuma, mayai.
I get.
And when you come where some of us come from, you can take ugali kubwa na ugali ndogo for stew. where some of us come from. Sorry for that example. I know they are watching me, they'll stone me. But you see, it's because that is what we have been cultured to know as food, you know. Sema mimi niko tu na kaugali hapa, the castillo is a smaller ugali. So when you have variety in your diet, then you're able to get more nutrients. Because again, mention the 3 food groups. But not all the 3, for example, for proteins, not all the proteins have the same nutrients. What you get in goat meat, you won't get in cow's meat, or in fish, or in chicken, or in, you know, legumes. So you put variety in your diet.
So when we are talking of variety, we are talking of variety not in one meal.
Yes, not
probably
in one
today,
meal.
tomorrow, or
yes.
supper, breakfast, such.
Yes.
Okay.
So in variety, you don't eliminate. So we're not saying meat is poison. We're not saying sugar is bad. We're not saying vegetable is the cure. We are saying make it look like the rainbow. Yeah, there's a reason why the rainbow is beautiful, because it has all those, you know, to variety of colors. Equally, your food, when it has those variety of colors, what we mentioned earlier, it looks appealing. The presentation of the food. So once you do that, it makes your food looks attractive. And you easily have a way around your food. For example, you can have a meal plan in your house, like a menu. You go to some kitchens, you find they stick the menu on the kitchen wall. You don't have to follow it with military precision, but it guides you.
Yeah.
Even when you're budgeting as you start the year, really. It helps you to budget for your food in the month, the year, all through. So you know what you need when you're buying. That you don't put in your fridge things you want to cook, then you're again throwing away food. Again, leading to food wastage and food spoilage. So when you have a meal plan, you are able to follow up. Even when you're going to shop, you're able to buy things that will put you through within the period of the month, so that you don't have a lot of wastage. So under the principles of meal planning, we are not eliminating things. The last principle I want to talk about that I was forgetting is moderation.
Yeah.
So that is the last principle of meal planning. You do moderation. You don't overdo. You don't underdo. You just do enough. So enough of ugali, enough of meat, enough of, so that you have sufficient quantities to keep you fueled, energetic, and well to do your business. So when you check the 5 principles of meal planning, it helps you to have an interesting diet, an interesting meal, an interesting family, really.
And a healthy one, of course.
And a healthy one, of course.
All right. So just as we wind up,
Yes.
probably just your parting shot, but what's the best decision that one can make in regards to nutrition, and what's the worst decision that they can make that might actually end up just affecting their health?
I think the best decision somebody can make for themselves is to make that healthy choice. When you're faced with a situation where you have to choose this or that, make your health your priority. So just have that in mind. Because sometimes you go to a festive party and then you're tempted to break the rules, which is allowed for once. But you have the health mentality in your mind. I mentioned and said, when you learn nutrition, you're not learning about how to eat. We don't fix it in a small box of food. Many times you mention nutrition, people think about food. Don't look it into the parochial thinking of just food. It's a way of life. That's when you're setting your goals, you don't set it as something for a few months. It becomes a behavior change. Actually, nutrition, we advocate for positive behavior change. So that I don't just change because I heard on TV I need to eat vegetables. But it becomes something that the entire family can embrace. It becomes something that is interesting. Right now, people are signing up for the gym.
Yeah.
January 1, January 10, then the population goes down like
Definitely.
this. So that's why I'm saying the health in your mind, it fuels your goal. You know, and then we say that if you're not eating your way to the goal, you won't achieve your goal. So you need to eat your way towards the goal. You don't set goals that you cannot achieve. So you eat towards the goal, and that way you achieve your goal. So if I know my goal is to lose weight, then I need to eat towards that goal. If my weight is my goal is to add weight, then I need to eat towards that goal.
Yeah.
So you don't just limit it to a matter of food and kitchen. It becomes a positive behavior change for the entire family, and you make it something interesting that your family members can do.
Yeah.
I don't need to sign up to the gym at 5 a.m. and I know I'm not a morning person, you know. So why? And you can easily walk in the evening. in the neighborhood. Most of our neighborhoods right nowadays, you can walk from 5, you know, and many people do it. So you won't look like the only guy from Pluto that has just landed. So make it something that is interesting, something that is sustainable, and something that the family members can do. Who said you can't skip rope in your bedroom? That is exercise. Somebody may be in the gym and wondering, this guy is fine. No, I'm not saying make it something sustainable. I'm not saying gym is bad. You can still go to the gym, you know, and choose those options that you can sustain. That doesn't have to make it look like you are having a nuclear bomb on your head that it will explode if you don't do it. So as you make it, the decisions and the goals for the new year, make it interesting as possible. Make it something flexible. It can work with your program and your schedule. Make it something that the family members can join. You can imagine you're skipping ropes with your kids. Even it's enjoyable, you know. Imagine going out for hiking with your family. It's enjoyable. You look forward to. It is not punishment. And then even as I finish again, I finish by saying that health is not just that aspect of not being sick, but the state of complete wellness. Are you okay mentally? Are you okay physically? Are you okay in your entire being? So when you achieve that state of wellness, then you are healthy. But if you're having issues with any of those, then you need to consult the right people. Even if it's just mental being. Sometimes it's depression. Sometimes it's, you know, because sometimes you're not eating the right food, you're depressed. Sometimes you're eating the right food, but the not right quantities. It affects your mental being. Sometimes you're having excess weight. People are going for a party. No dress can fit you. So you avoid company events. People are going for team building, you won't come because you wear the gym pants or you wear the sweatshirts and the sweatshorts. They don't fit you. So it affects your mental well-being. Or sometimes you're too skinny and people are like, where? So if it's affecting your mental being, then you need to find something. Because if it's already affecting you, you won't be productive at work. People are trying to do team building, you look for a tree under, you sit alone. Maybe you're pretending you're reading a book, you're not. You're avoiding people. So you need to reach a point where you're having wellness in your entire holistic being. Thank you, Aida.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Winston. Thank you for educating us and just informing us on matters to do with diet. And I think just my takeaway will be probably dieting. When we hear of dieting or just nutrition, it's not a punishment.
Yes.
As you put it, we should just, if it's goals, let us talk of sustainable goals and realistic goals. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was Winston, that is our clinical nutritionist, just trying to make our New Year's resolution as far as healthy lifestyle is concerned realistic. And thank you so much for tuning in. This is Kirk in the morning. Thank you so much for keeping us company. That is from 8 a.m. until now. So that is it from us, and from this conversation I'll say let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Thank you so much. My name is Aida Muzati, and as always, your health matters.